Hello everyone, it's Zach with Talk of Sinners. Again with just a real quick message today because I'm on a time restraint at this very moment. I want to talk about stress in your life and just give a real quick heads up and maybe something to get you thinking about stress, uncertainty, specifically in situations where you feel like the rug is pulled out from underneath your feet. You're in a good place, you have this, you have that. Things are set, you have a routine, and all of a sudden everything changes. The first thing you're going to feel, one of the first emotions you're going to feel, maybe stress, maybe anger, but in any cause, you're going to feel an uncertainty in some form of stress. Now, just first, let me start off by saying that emotions are just as bad as they are good if we don't understand them completely, whether that be anger, even happiness, false happiness, hope, false hope. There's all these emotions, but when we get the rug pulled out from underneath of us, is it from God? I've been wrestling with this. Some people have said yes, some people have said no. My conclusion, while I just put myself on the spot, because this is not at all what I was anticipating to say, and I got a text message, so I got a little distracted there. But are these things from God? The answer I'm not prepared to talk about right now. Some yes, some no. I'm sure it's dependent on your status. However, God provides the outlet, not for us to get out on our own. You've heard the verse that God doesn't give us more than we can handle. That's true, but He will. Actually, that's not true. Sorry, I'm getting distracted again. I'm looking at people walking through the shopping plaza. God does give us more than we can handle. And the verse goes on to say He provides us a way out. And that way out is not our next big break, but that way out is Him. He's not promising that if something terrible happens, that He's going to make everything right and nothing bad or unexpected will ever happen again. But what He's telling you is He's going to constantly, show you that you are a weak vessel and you need to rely on Him. All this uncertainty in your life, every time you've built something in which you thought you built it on concrete with a steel structure, everything was manufactured with the best materials and everything has been inspected and you are great. There's no way that this house could ever fall down and you end up with a house of cards. So what happens when those house of cards fall is you feel all these emotions that we're talking about. Just remember that during these times in your life, God is going to show you that you're a weak vessel. He gives you more than you can handle, so you rely on Him. Now, if you don't rely on Him, then you can continue to build out of cards and straw. But when you face these things, rather than immediately go to those emotions, because you're going to feel them anyway, I can assure you, rather than going to the stress, the anger, the uncertainty, the sadness, depression, anxiety, rather than going into all of these things, first understand that this is an opportunity for you to look at God. Look at the image of God and look at your image. Look at what God is trying to do. He's trying to develop you into His image. He's trying to show you that, hey, you're a weak vessel. This is what you need to do to get better. This is what you need to do to look more like me. And then you take those steps. You dive into Scripture. You start reading. You start seeing how, for example, in Ecclesiastes, Solomon will say that a man doesn't really reflect on his life much because he has a gladness and a contentment of heart from God. You see, so you start reading these scriptures and you start to see, okay, I'm a weak vessel. I'm not as strong as I think I am. Now, for some of us, we go into the gym and we see people pushing around their weight and, they have a hard time admitting that they're weak. But trust me, God will show you that you are weak and that you need Him. So the next time something happens to you completely out of the blue and completely unexpected, your life is not over, but it's rather a chance to put more weight on the barbell and to push. And push as if your life depends on it. Push as if you have the hands of God to lift you up, because you do. But the moment you think that you can do this on your own, or that your anxiety, the scriptures say that who can add another moment onto his life by worrying? No one. No one controls the wind. No nor knows where it comes from. Rely on God to lift that up. When you take your eyes off God, just like Peter, you will sink in the water. Just like when you're pushing up that barbell, if you're pushing it up with the hands of God, the weight becomes less. It still hurts, and it's still hard to push up. But with the hands of God, you can push up out of your situation, out of your uncertainty, and you'll walk again. But never forget where you came from, and never forget how you got to where you are now. So that's all I got for now. I'd like to talk more about this, but I don't have time. So I'm out. See ya.